Surprise, surprise. Two of the Trifecta Sports Podcast people rolling in with a Sunday morning quick live stream to hopefully help some of you guys out with setting your fantasy lineups this morning. I had a little dilemma last night when I was looking at my lineups. For the most part, I kind of know who I was starting, but the Julio Jones situation has got me thinking about a lot of stuff. I was, I've settled on my guy, and I didn't put Julio in my starting lineup, but I had to think really hard about it. And the reason being is Travis Etienne, although he had like 51% of the snaps last week, had just a few carries, few targets. I think that's not going to be the case consistently. I think he's too talented not to get him the ball in that offense. I was picking between Travis Etienne and Julio Jones just for this week. And I ended up settling on probably going to end up settling on Travis Etienne. But the matchup with Julio, after what he's done the week before, and now he's projected to be, number 2 target behind Mike Evans this week. So I'm still thinking about it. I'm going to leave it the way it is right now. Go ahead, Coop.
He's also got that game time decision tag on him.
Yeah.
So there's a chance Julio doesn't play. We still don't know for sure.
Yeah. So I'm going with the sure thing here, and that's Travis Etienne. Those of you guys that are tuned in watching, this is a little surprise Sunday morning live stream, just to sort of answer some questions people might have, and then probably just give you guys some injury designations that you may not be aware of, or that you haven't heard of yet. So we're going to let Coop go down his list of things and pretty much throw out the names that are for sure ruled out this week. I know there are some big names like Michael Pittman. And then who are some guys that you might be able to pick up really fast that are on the waiver wire still? Just some names to throw out there that help you recover from anybody that might be out in your lineups.
Yeah, so for sure we got Keenan Allen out. I think Josh Palmer, they already played that game, but Josh Palmer definitely paid off filling in that role. Michael Pittman is out, as well as Alec Pierce for Indianapolis. I'm bumping up Paris Campbell. He probably isn't starting unless it's a deeper league, but definitely a name to keep an eye on, as well as Ashton Doolin. He's kind of the deep ball receiver there with both the 1 and 2 receiver out for Indy. Godwin is out. We already talked about that. Evans is questionable, but should play. Julio's a game time decision. Fournette is questionable, so there's a ton of question marks in Tampa Bay. Keep an eye on that as the game gets closer. I put out a tweet earlier this week, like Rashad White probably needs to be rostered everywhere, because if something happens to Fournette, he was the highest graded pass catching running back coming out of the draft, and he's got 3 down potential if Fournette misses time. Gabe Davis just kind of transitioned to like doubtful now. He was questionable. That's a Monday night game, so get him out of your lineup unless you have another Monday night player that you may be able to sub in for him. Because if he switches to out late today, early tomorrow morning, you're stuck with 0 points in your lineup. I have him on in our league of note, and I've benched him today. J.K. Dobbins also looking like he's not going to play, and Alvin Kamara is another big name. So Mark Ingram, I think, jumps almost up to RB2. He's a top 30 play if you've got Mark Ingram.
For sure. Really quick, shout out to Andy. He said, sup. Appreciate you tuning in, my dude. If you guys are watching and you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, we would encourage you to do so. We're on our quest to 100 subscribers. I think we're right around the 60 mark today. So if you like what you hear, like what you see today, just give us some sub there. We do have a quick question here from 808 DOI 3 or DOL 3. I don't have my glasses on this morning, fellas. He said sit or start, Stafford or Murray, and then at the running back position he has Naji and Chase Edmonds. Right off the cuff, let me look. I gotta look at the matchup real quick.
We got the Rams playing Atlanta in LA.
Okay.
And Pittsburgh playing New England for Naji.
Oh. He clarified his name there. Spells Bob Dole. I like it. Appreciate it, man. Quick knee-jerk reaction tells me Stafford against Atlanta is going to be, Cooper Kupp's going to eat. I think Stafford's probably a good bet there. Kyler, he hasn't impressed me much this year. I think he's struggled a little bit. I just don't know if the matchup works well for him. I like Stafford a little bit better today. Naji Harris has been dealing with an injury. I don't know how much he is going to see of the field, but if he starts, I feel like not starting him is probably not a good idea. So we'll keep an eye on that today. Have that app open right up to game time. Search every single Steelers insider you can find. If Naji Harris is playing today, you have to play him strictly because he's going to get the looks in the red zone. He was hurt last week against the Bengals. I wasn't real happy about the result of that game, obviously, but Naji did score a receiving touchdown early in the game. He didn't run the ball quite well, but he's Naji Harris. We've had some quick reactions to players that didn't perform up to par last week on our last show we did last week on Monday night. But fantasy football is a marathon. It's not a sprint. There are going to be games where, you have people that don't perform up to your standard that you've drafted them at, and you want to quickly react and get rid of them or trade them away. I'm not that kind of guy. I like to give it 3-4 weeks before I make those types of decisions. But in reality, they're going to have bad games. You're not going to have somebody that just unless it's Justin Jefferson or Jonathan Taylor, somebody like that. Those guys are going to get theirs every week because they're the centerpiece of their team. But I would go with Naji if he's playing healthy. He's not healthy. Let's just take that out of the window. He's not healthy. But if he's playing, I'm starting him. And if he ends up getting that injury designation of out, then obviously Edmonds is your choice. But I do like Stafford today against Atlanta. I think anytime Stafford is playing a defense that's mediocre, I'm putting him in the game because of his weapons around him. That's just me. Coop, your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree with both of those. I would go Stafford over Murray as well. Murray's got the Raiders and a depleted wide receiver room. Hopkins is still suspended. Rondale Moore is out. Andy Isabel's out. So it's Hollywood Brown, Greg Dortch, and a questionable Zach Ertz. I think Stafford, they're looking for revenge, not on Atlanta, but on that loss they had last week. They looked bad, so they've kind of got something to prove in LA. Expect a big game out of all the Rams. And then I agree 100% with Harris. If he's healthy, he's got to play. Edmonds had good usage last week, but he's not a bell cow back. I think Baltimore has a really good defense in that matchup with Miami. So I would also go Naji.
Yeah. So hope we helped you out there, man. Tomorrow, Monday nights, we have our live stream. So you guys that are on here already watching us this morning, we record our podcast live every week on Monday night at 9:30. We would love to have you guys back and tell us how we did with our fantasy football advice. Are we professionals by any means? Hell no. But we do love fantasy football, and we do spend a lot of time doing our research and things like that. So Andy asked the question. He said, Patterson, Penny, Mark Ingram, or Robbie Anderson at the flex. Thank you. So we get to pick one.
Yep.
We already talked about Mark Ingram, depending on the Alvin Kamara injury designation. Quick reaction for me. No, just kind of what I've seen. Robbie Anderson and Patterson would probably be my ultimate picks right away. With that, I would have to dive deep into the matchup. Patterson had a really good week last week, but again, he's playing the Rams defense today. Robbie Anderson had a great week. He was targeted a ton by Baker Mayfield. He is on a bad team. I'll say that. But quick reaction, I would say Cordero or Robbie Anderson. I would help you narrow that down a little bit. For me, I would probably go today, Robbie Anderson. That's me. Coop, what are your thoughts?
I'm going Cordero Patterson. Damian Williams is out again. And even though they're playing a good run defense, he's going to be using the passing game. For some reason, Atlanta is not wanting to give Tyler Algier any looks. I was high on him preseason, but with Williams out, Patterson last week set career highs in rush attempts and rush yards. So it's hard to sit a guy coming off that kind of week. Ingram has the upside with Kamara probably out, so he would be my second pick. Little low on Penny. His efficiency was great last week, like 6 yards a carry. They just didn't give him the ball. And Kenneth Walker is supposed to be healthy and playing this week against San Francisco. I'm staying away from Seattle's backfield. Robbie Anderson, he's boomer bust. I've never liked him because of that. Like, he's a Mike Williams Jr., right? He's either going to get you 3 or 30. So I kind of avoid Robbie Anderson, but he's definitely got that boom potential.
Yeah. And that's that's my play style is, I lost week 1 last week. And if I had a chance to pick up somebody that is a boomer bust type candidate that can catch maybe 2 touchdown passes and have 80 plus yards receiving this week, I take those chances. Now that may not be your play style, but I do like the Patterson pick as well. Coop and I both agreed on Patterson probably being a really good start there. Patterson is actually on my wife's fantasy team, and I made sure to draft him because I know that he's probably going to be – him and Kyle Pitts are going to be the centerpieces of that offense in Atlanta, especially with a quarterback like Marcus Mariota, who doesn't have the best history of being a good quarterback, so he's got to rely on somebody back there. So that's just my opinion. I would go with Patterson or Anderson. Hope that helps. We have Raleigh with a start 2. T. Higgins, Amon-Ra, Mike Thomas. Well, we have to make sure Higgins is playing. I haven't seen anything this morning yet. Also haven't been scouring Twitter like I normally do. He is coming off of a concussion. If T. Higgins is playing, I feel like T. Higgins has to start. That's just my opinion. Amon-Ra, I like him a lot. But also Mike Thomas had a hell of a first week. So that's a tough question, man. Coop, what's your quick reaction on Higgins, Amon-Ra, and Mike Thomas? Starting 2. Who are you leaving out?
Yeah, Amon-Ra would be the first one for me. Dude's about to make history. He's had, 8 catches in 7 consecutive games. Like, I think if he hits one more, there's only Antonio Brown and one other name that have ever done it. His usage has been insane. It's carried over from last year. And then if Higgins is healthy, which it looks like he is, he's going to play, full snap count. I would go Higgins. I just need to see one more game from Mike Thomas.
I was getting ready to say that.
It was all in the second half. They were coming back. I need to see it one more time from him to know that he is back and healthy.
Yeah, that's kind of the point I was getting ready to make too. Is Mike Thomas is freaking Mike Thomas. When he had Drew Brees as his quarterback, he was up top. 15 fantasy pick easily. If he comes out this week and gets a large target share, good production, maybe a touchdown or 2. Then he starts coming into that conversation of, okay, the Saints have a plan for him. He's not just coming off an injury. He's not, the old vet. He's not the AJ Green of the Saints. He's still got it. Jameis Winston looks for him. Then you have to start making those tough decisions. But today, Higgins and Amon-Ra are our picks. All right, we have drop Pickens for Julio. I think picking up Julio is not a bad idea. Julio for me this week, before, I don't know if you guys were on here when I was talking about my decision this week on Travis Etienne or Julio Jones. And again, it's a quick reaction for me about, Etienne did not have a great week. Julio had a pretty solid week with a lot of targets for an offense that had all of their receivers, and now they don't have all of their receivers this week. So I had a decision to make. Picking up Julio is a great idea. Pickens has not gotten a lot of attention yet, but injuries happen. I don't think dropping him would be the best idea unless, you want to drop him for a couple weeks, hoping nobody picks him up, and then pick him back up if things start to happen with him. I think Chase Claypool and Deontay Johnson are going to take the majority of those targets. Pat Freiermuth also took a lot of targets this week from Mitchell Trubisky. I watched every snap of that game last week, and I was sick to my stomach watching the crap that was going down. But I think that picking up Julio was a good idea, but dropping Pickens for him, I might try to look for somebody else in your lineup to do that with. If Julio is available in your league, though, it wouldn't hurt to go get him. He's not going to hurt you. I feel like he's going to have he might not have like an explosive season, but he's going to have a big role in that offense eventually.
The thing with Julio, he's always hurt, right? Always kind of has been, at least these past few seasons. And right now, he's a game-time decision. So I would not be picking him up to play this weekend unless that, injury designation improves. If he stays game time up until kickoff, I'm still nervous about starting him. Like that means something's lingering.
Yeah.
I think Pickens has more upside throughout the season. If Tampa Bay can get their wide receiver room healthy, Julio's probably the fourth option there. And I think Pickens truly could turn into the number one in Pittsburgh. So for the rest of the season, at that point on my bench, I would rather have Pickens because of the upside. But if you need a play this week and Julio's healthy, I'm okay with making that switch.
Braden comment on it. He said we have Rex Burkhead or Kenyon Drake. The Burkhead situation has been pretty interesting to me. Everybody preseason was hyping up Dameon Pierce, hyping him up. But last week, Burkhead got the majority of the share of the offense, pretty much. But their coach, Lovie Smith, I'm pretty sure he's a coach there. Am I being an idiot for thinking that? I don't care about the Texans, so I don't keep up with them. But he said we got to get Dameon Pierce the ball more, which makes me think that Rex Burkhead's probably going to diminish some of his, I would say, target share or carries or participation in the offense. But there's a reason why Dameon Pierce didn't get all the run in game one. I don't know what that reason is, but Rex Burkhead is a good pick, solid pick. Kenyon Drake, that Baltimore backfield is killing me with decision-making skills, man.
Yeah.
Who's it going to be each week? I don't know. It reminds me of the old New England Patriots picking the running backs for the Patriots back in the day with, James White and all them. And Rex Burkhead, but like I don't mean that. I would probably go Burkhead. That's just me.
I would go Drake. It's super close. They're like back to back.
No
help. My pick would be Drake because I don't believe in a 32-year-old Rex Burkhead, and I don't have a lot of confidence that at any point this season the Houston run game is going to be dominant. Right? They're still in the bottom of the league. They're going to be playing from behind, and he is the pass catching back as of right now, but I just don't have confidence in him. Kenyon Drake, he's got to get the volume this week, right? I mean, Dobbins is out again. Gus Edwards is still on the PUP list. So I think there's a lot more touchdown upside for Drake because neither one of these guys are going to go out and get you 100 yards. So I would play Drake for that reason.
All right, we've got our old pal Keith Cottle with a comment asking where David is. It's a very good question. Maybe Dave's watching. I'm not sure. But this week, David is actually headed to Hawaii. For those of you guys that are new to our stream, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. We also have a third person here. His name's David. He lives in Quincy, Illinois. A really good friend of ours. Keith is in our Bush League Fantasy Football League. You can see our championship title back there behind Coop's head. He's asking where David is. David is this week headed to Hawaii, so he will not be on the stream tomorrow night as well. Just be me and Coop holding down the fort till then. We have Free Tigray says Komet. Don't get me started on Komet, fellas. I'm telling you. I have faith in him, but last week was a head scratcher for me. No, I take that back. I was a dumbass and started him, and I shouldn't have because I knew nobody in that receiving corps was getting the ball. I think that's going to change this week. I think Then he asks if Higbee, Tonyan, or Thomas if Kittle is out. Full PPR. Tonyan is not a bad pick today. I don't know, Coop, have you had an update on Alan Lazard, what his injury designation is? I know he was questionable.
Looks like he's going to play. Should be good to go.
If Lazard plays, that kind of limits Tonyan, in my opinion. Higbee is a good pick. He had a lot of targets last week. I'm starting Komet in my league, but that's just because he's my only tight end in my lineup. So take that for what it's worth. I do think Komet, and I've been high on Komet all offseason long. I drafted him in our draft. I did wait a while to get a tight end. He was still sitting there. I picked him over Freiermuth, but he hasn't shown anything yet. But I do think that will change. Kyler Murray is going to look toward him. He did have a target. He just didn't bring it in. Last week was a fluke. It was a game where you could catch catfish on the 50-yard line. It was ridiculous. I don't even know why they played. I mean, they could have done something different. But it was a shit show. It was a shit show. Fantasy players did not love it. Myself included. So
yeah.
I'm starting Komet, but I think Higbee is probably a good choice too.
Yeah, I think Higbee is the safest choice. I really like Logan Thomas, probably more so in like a DFS outlet where he's a little cheaper. He's been a top 5 tight end before. Injuries have always been a problem, but he's healthy now. Carson Wentz looked pretty good last week. So Higbee is the safe play for me, but I think that there is a lot of upside with Logan Thomas if you want to throw that dart.
Yeah, for sure. Little daily fantasy question from Josh Weaver, loyal listener. Appreciate it, Josh. From Facebook, he said, do you like Jacobs against a terrible Cardinal D? Yeah. I mean, you could probably get him for pretty cheap right now for daily fantasy if I had to guess. He's probably is he even in the top 10, Josh? I'm not sure. I don't play daily fantasy sports every week. I do play it periodically, but I don't take it as serious as our regular run-of-the-mill fantasy football league. But if I had to guess, Jacobs would probably be pretty cheap, and you could probably spend a lot more money on your wide receivers. That's just me.
Yeah, and they should be able to get that run game going because I don't expect Arizona, with the injuries they have going on right now, to keep up with the Raiders.
Yep. Jacob McCoy, Pike County boy back in Stanton, Kentucky. Cooks or Kirk, wide receiver 2 for this week?
I got Cooks.
I would say the same thing.
I think there's a chance Jacksonville is competitive in their game. I think Houston's going to be playing from behind, so a little more passing volume. And I think Jacksonville really wants to see what they have with those 2 running backs. So they're going to kind of lean on those and bring Lawrence along. Cooks would be my pick this week.
Yep, Brandon Cooks all the way. Trey from YouTube says, morning, gents, full PPR. Should we have to start 2? Allen Robinson, Travis Etienne, Michael Thomas, or Kareem Hunt? Another tough one. I haven't seen enough out of Allen Robinson yet.
Oh, but man, that Atlanta matchup is so tasty.
I don't know. Michael Thomas, we've talked about him already. We need to see another game out of him. I do like Kareem Hunt. Kareem Hunt's probably going to score a touchdown today. Him and Chubb, I watched an interview of both of them. They were complimenting each other about, each one of them pushing one to the other. They're both going to get equal touches. I like Kareem Hunt. Kareem Hunt's a lock for me. Out of the other 3, I'm picking Michael Thomas. Coop probably pick somebody different. But Kareem Hunt, Michael Thomas, for me, that's who I would go with. I have Travis Etienne on my roster as well. I'm worried about him. After today, you'll get a better picture of that. But Michael Thomas and Kareem Hunt are probably going to be really safe picks for you today.
Yeah, I agree. Kareem Hunt is my top player on this list. The other 3, man, they've all got their question marks, and I could see all of them having big games. I probably would lean Allen Robinson, in my opinion, because I don't believe the week 1 failure. I've been kind of high on Robinson all offseason. I still think the talent's there. They paid him a ton of money. But Michael Thomas, yeah, I can't argue to bench Michael Thomas. But if I have both of them on my roster, I'm playing A-Rob over him. So my 2 would be Kareem Hunt and Allen Robinson.
So, Trey, we helped you with one guy. We have different opinions on the other one. I just think there's too many places that you can throw the ball for Stafford. I just do. Thomas is, he's the top guy over there right now. They got a lot of rookies. And Jarvis Landry, I just feel like Thomas is going to end up being Michael Thomas of old. I just have that feeling. Comment from YouTube, CL Sports Cards, PPR Flex Spot, Miles Sanders or Michael Thomas. Fellas, y'all loving some Michael Thomas this morning. Everybody's got that doubt that Thomas is going to do something. I believe in him. I do. I helped my wife run her fantasy league as well. I threw him in her lineup this week. I can't remember who I played him for. I made that decision a couple of days ago. Miles Sanders, the Eagles running back room, they all scored last week. Yeah. I don't know who to trust. If you want a safe pick, it's Michael Thomas. If you want a boom or bust pick, Miles Sanders. It's week 2, fellas. I think going safe is probably the best bet. Here in the next couple of weeks, we're going to see that Eagles running back room sort of take fold and see they're trying them out. Each one of them is getting their picks. I can't remember which one of them. One of them has only had like 2 carries, but one of them had a touch. One of them went for a touchdown. But the Eagles are a really good offense. Picking an Eagles running back right now is sketchy for me. I don't know which one it's going to be each week.
Yeah, I'm going Michael Thomas in this. And if I have Miles Sanders, I'm trying to sell him as soon as possible because he's already scored more touchdowns this year than he did all of last season, which is 1. He did not score a touchdown last year. The Philadelphia running backs are Buffalo running backs. It's a 3-way backfield split. We don't know which backs get which usage, and the quarterback is a true RB1 and goal line option in both those teams. They have good offenses, but I just don't want any part of that 3-way committee, especially when your quarterbacks are getting 700 yards and 6 touchdowns every year on the ground. So Michael Thomas is my play, and I would recommend trading Miles Sanders off of a good week 1.
Josh, appreciate it, dude. He says we're never mind. I just answered that question. I clicked on the wrong comment. Damn it. Love the Sunday morning traffic y'all are getting. That's kind of our idea, man. Everybody's always looking for quick answers, some help. Maybe, when you guys are asking these questions, you have a gut feeling already. And then if you hear somebody else kind of reiterate that gut feeling, that helps you even more. Hopefully you guys are having that feeling and we're helping you out in terms of sort of a little bit of satisfaction that you were on the right track, thinking the way somebody else would think. But so hopefully you guys, if you guys are on here and you like what you hear, subscribe to our channel. We do live streams every Monday night at 9:30, kind of in the middle of the Monday Night Football game. So we'll keep you guys updated on that if you'd like. We're just here to have a little fun, talk some fantasy football. We have other sports content as well. We're working on some solo stuff for each individual person, talking about college football and the new Major League Baseball rules, if that interests you or not. But fantasy football, we've found, has hit our stride. Our channel has grown tremendously in the last couple of weeks. Our channel has basically tripled in size, although it's not very big yet. We're getting a lot of positive feedback from a lot of people, so we appreciate all you guys tuning in this morning. Next up on the list, we have Justin Desharoon. That's an awesome last name, dude. PPR, Dortch, Myers, or Ingram?
Ingram, Myers, and Dortch in that order.
Ingram, number 1.
Yep.
Especially today. That was
today.
Yeah, just today. That for me. I mean, if me and Coop both agree on that right quickly, that's who you're starting. Hopefully that was your gut feeling already. Ryan Mahoney, full PPR, leave Gabe Davis in and hope he plays, or do I just throw Claypool in to be safe? Throw Claypool in.
Yep.
We've talked about that. You might not have been on. Coop has Gabe Davis. He already benched him. He does play a Monday night game. If you're stuck and he end up not playing, then you're stuck with either trying to find somebody else really quick who may be on the waiver wire, or you're stuck with a 0 in that spot.
If you want to wait it out, look for Isaiah McKenzie if he's not owned in your league. Yeah. Because if Gabe Davis plays, McKenzie's not that valuable. If Davis sits in the same game, McKenzie gets a huge bump. So if you don't have a guy in that Monday night game, you need to get Davis onto your bench.
Yeah, for sure. RB Fant, London or Lazard, half PPR. After last week, That's a tough pick, man. I think I'm going Lazard.
Oh, wow.
Here's why. Aaron Rodgers is highly upset with his wide receivers. He's looking for an old faithful, somebody he can go to, somebody he can rely on, somebody he can throw to, and they'll actually catch the ball. I look for Lazard to have a good week. And Coop's going to pick London.
I'm going to pick London. I think, he looked like the number one pass catcher in Atlanta last week, which is saying a lot because Kyle Pitts is a freak. I think he's going to continue that. I love rostering the Green Bay wide receivers. I'm not ready to start one yet because there are like 4 with this upside, right? We're like, oh, he could be this, he could be that, he could be Rodgers number 1, but we don't know yet. And we know that Drake London is going to be the go-to guy in Atlanta. So I would start London over Lazard.
Evan Gittleman says Michael Carter or Travis Etienne half-point PPR.
Oh, man, this one's really hard.
Oh, man. Let me look something up real quick.
I have Michael Carter in our league. I am starting Michael Carter. I think he is the better player. My concern is when does Breece Hall take over because I feel like it's still going to happen.
Yeah, I don't think it's week. It's not week 2, though.
But does he start, cutting into that share? They're playing a good Cleveland front. I don't know about the entire defense in Cleveland. I think they've got some question marks, but it's a really good front 7. Etienne playing Indianapolis, a game I think they can definitely be competitive in. I'm probably still going to lean Michael Carter this week, but it is extremely close for me.
I'm going to say Michael Carter simply because we're talking about Breece Hall cutting into his snaps and carries. Travis Etienne has James Robinson cutting into his, who had a massive week last week. It's going to be hard not to feed the hot hand in week 2 for these NFL teams, especially guys looking for wins. So in that sense, I'm picking Michael Carter. Oh, we got a defense question here. Browns or Ravens D? I'll be honest with you. I don't pay much attention to defenses because they can win you games. I don't think they can lose you games, if that makes sense. But Browns looked really good. I would look for the best pass rushers and the best secondary. For me, I think that's the Browns. They definitely have pass rush down pat.
Joe Flacco's a statue. Myles Garrett is a freak. Yeah. So, I mean, that's the matchup I'm kind of looking at.
And Clowney's still there, too, I believe.
I believe so.
We've talked about Kamara being out, too, Greg. Should I start Stevenson or Mark Ingram PPR? We're high on Ramondre Stevenson on this channel. Mm-hmm. Him and Damian Harris actually kind of split the work last week. Mark Ingram is he's not going to be Kamara, but he's going to get all the touches in that backfield. He might not get a lot of the receptions, but goal line, red zone, Mark Ingram's getting the ball. That's for sure. Stevenson is not a for sure thing this week. This week only. So with that being said, the safe pick is Mark Ingram for me. Because you don't really know what Stevenson's going to get. And you don't know which one is going to get the ball. It's probably whoever's in the game at that time or whose drive turn it is. And we just don't know Bill Belichick's mindset and his plan with his running backs yet. So Mark Ingram is a safe pick.
Yeah, I think Mark Ingram's got the floor here. And knowing Belichick, man, it could be Pierre Strong today. Like we're talking about Stevenson and Harris. And Pierre Strong could go out there and lead this team and everything. I still definitely like Stevenson. I think this is a good game to hope he hits on with, Ty Montgomery out and they're playing at Pittsburgh, who Pittsburgh gave up a huge week to Joe Mixon last week. It's just Stevenson isn't the one guy. Like Frank said, I think that Mark Ingram is kind of going to be the guy for New Orleans today. Probably going to see a little more Taysom Hill than we did last week, even though last week shocked us all. But I would go Ingram as well. It's really close. I mean, I got him 2 spots apart in my rankings this week.
Yeah, so a lot of people doing with Michael. The Saints have everybody's attention this week. Tomorrow out looking at Etienne, James Robinson, or Kenyon Drake. Full PPR. Who you got? It's a tough one. I agree with that one. I think Kenyon Drake is at the bottom of that list. I have Etienne starting in my lineup today. I'm hoping something happens with him. Coop, what are your thoughts, everybody?
Yeah. I would probably go Etienne as well with the full PPR because he's going to get more passing down usage than James Robinson, even if he loses the snap share. And, one stat I saw a while back, a target on average is worth 2.7 the amount of fantasy points as they carry.
Yeah.
So those targets are just so valuable. Those pass catchers are huge. So I would lean Etienne out of these three.
Yeah. I think Kenyon Drake is probably at the bottom of my list for there. James Robinson, if you're looking for consistent carries, I don't know if Etienne will out carry James Robinson, but he's definitely going to out receive James Robinson. That's kind of that's where they're going to go with that offense eventually. So I'm going Etienne. I'm starting him this week in my lineup. If you guys are on here and you like what you hear, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're on our way to 100, where we stream every Monday night at 9:30. Make sure you guys tune in tomorrow. Lamar Jackson or Matt Stafford?
Lamar Jackson. If you have Lamar Jackson and he's healthy,
you start Lamar Jackson. I start Lamar Jackson every week until I'm starting him, period. He's top 3. Not even a question for me. Now, 2-quarterback league, you're looking pretty good this week. We're in a 2-quarterback league, me and Coop are.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got 2 good quarterbacks there, man. Pick 2, PPR, Brandon Cooks, Michael Thomas, Kareem Hunt, Adam Thielen.
I'm pretty cut and dry on this one. Are you torn on any?
I'm going to say Cooks and Hunt.
Yeah. Brandon Cooks he's a must-start player right now. He's a top 20 wide receiver. I know he's not the sexy name, and he's playing with the turtleneck Davis Mills, but Brandon Cooks is an every week guy, and I would go Hunt over Thomas. That would be my decision for the second spot.
Yeah. Adam Thielen is going to be Adam Thielen. Justin Jefferson has taken over that offense, man. He's the first and second option. They're going to throw it to a double-covered Justin Jefferson over a single-covered Adam Thielen. But Thielen is a quiet pick. If down the road something happens, Justin Jefferson, just be glad you have Thielen. I would never want that to happen, by the way. I love seeing great players.
And congratulations if you're having to make this decision in your league, because that's some nice value on the bench for you.
You've drafted tremendously. So keep flexing on him, dude. Clayton Witt says, Brees, Mark Ingram, or Jeff Wilson? Mark Ingram.
First Jeff Wilson conversation today. I'm actually going to lean Wilson in this one because
tell us why, Coop.
The matchup. Playing Seattle, I really think they're going to lean on that run game. Trey Lance did not look great in week 1. I know that the weather was a huge factor, but he also didn't look good in the preseason. So they're going to run the ball. They always have anyway, but I think they're going to lean on it a little more in a game that they should be leading. So I'm actually going to go Wilson over Ingram in this one.
Yeah, you talked me to that. I agree with that too. I have Elijah on my bench, and that's pretty upset, honestly, because I'm without a solid running back too. I have David Montgomery. I do think Elijah Mitchell would have been obviously a little bit better than David Montgomery, but I'm glad to have somebody that I can throw in, right now until when Mitchell comes back. They're saying like 8 weeks, but anything with a knee with a running back, you're scared on. So that's just me. Pick one. Calvin Harris. Calvo says Jamal Williams. Well, why am I saying Harris? I'm an idiot today. Jamal Williams, Rex Burkhead, Paris Campbell. I'll tell you who Coop's going to pick today.
You're wrong, but
you're not going to pick Paris Campbell?
No, I'm not.
You're going to pick Jamal Williams.
I am picking Jamal Williams because DeAndre Swift will be limited today. He's going to play, but if he does, they're saying snaps will be limited. Usage is going to be monitored. They looked good last week. They played
They
against
did.
a great run defense, put up over 200 yards on the ground. Jamal Williams had 2 touchdowns. And if his usage is going up this week, obviously I don't think he's going to get 3 touchdowns. That's not what I'm saying. But he's going to have more opportunities. He might catch a couple passes this week. He's going to have a few more carries, a few more yards. I'm really liking what Detroit's doing on offense. So I would lean Williams over these guys. I already said I don't have a ton of faith in Burkhead. I think Campbell is a good value this week, but it's still a deeper league play.
Yeah. So we would assume you're in a pretty deep league if that's who you're picking from. We've got really quick, Dave from Facebook. Dave, we love you. We miss you, buddy. Dave is our third member of the Trifecta Sports Podcast. If you haven't seen us yet, go back on our YouTube channel, subscribe while you're there, and then take a look at Dave. He's the one with all the internet problems, but we still love him. It's okay. Thomas and Hunt.
He disagrees with Brandon Cooks. He would start Thomas and Hunt over Brandon Cooks.
Oh, okay.
That's sometimes, when you lose a piece of your cast, the quality of the content actually increases. And we can see with that comment from Dave there that you guys are getting a value this week.
Yeah. Sorry, Dave. We love you, buddy. With Pittman out, Josh asked if we would pick Jahan Dotson or Ashton Dooley, wide receiver 3.
I'm going Dotson.
I was going to say Dotson as well.
Yeah, 2 touchdowns last week.
Yeah, I think honestly Terry McLaurin didn't do much at all, did he?
No, he had
they've got a good quarterback. He's going to spread it around. He's going to hit the open receiver. He's not going to target any one guy as much. So you're looking at Jahan Dotson, who may not get a ton of attention with Terry McLaurin running the routes as well. But Dotson is probably going to be a guy that can consistently have targets. I'm not going to say receptions, not going to say touchdowns, but he's going to get 5+ targets a game easily.
Yep.
Sasquatch Football, you win the award for the best YouTube name on here ever so far. I think we've been streaming for 6 weeks now, something like that.
Yeah.
Tight end spot and flex: Hill, Goddard, Zeke, Ingram. Pick 2.
Assuming that's Taysom Hill, since we're having a tight end question. I am Goddard and Zeke.
I would say Zeke as well for sure. Although I hate Ezekiel Elliott. They're going to have to lean on somebody this week with Cooper Rush as their quarterback. But I feel like Zeke is an automatic pick out of these guys for sure, especially in a flex spot. Your running backs must be pretty damn good. Between Goddard and Hill, for me, I would take the for sure thing. Hill does all kinds of things. He might get you a garbage touchdown. He might get you a couple of receptions, but I think he's going to carry the ball a little bit this week. They might throw in a little wildcat action like they have been in the past couple of seasons. But Goddard is probably your for sure pick, your safe pick. You're looking for a boom or bust with Taysom Hill. You're if you start him, you're kind of looking for him to have that big game that he may break out for 2 scores in the red zone. They might get it inside the 2 and they give him the ball. But for sure pick, Dallas Goedert. We have Mark Ingram, Kenneth Gainwell, or Ramondre Stevenson.
I think we had the Ingram and Stevenson comp earlier. We both went Ingram.
Yeah. And Gainwell, again, we don't know. We don't know who it's going to be consistently.
As good as the offenses are in Philadelphia and Buffalo, I just do not feel confident starting any of those running backs.
Not yet, anyway. Somebody is going to extend their lead in terms of who's getting the ball the most and where they're getting the ball. We just don't know that yet. So I would go with Ingram for today, especially with Kamara having his problems. Ingram today and today only until we figure out what's wrong with Kamara. But between Gainwell and Ramondre Stevenson, I'd probably go with Stevenson.
Agreed.
All right. A few more questions here. Again, if you guys like what you hear, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. we would appreciate the support there. We're just a small town, a couple of small town boys, and David headed to Hawaii. He's with us as well. We don't want to leave Dave out. Smoke asked Daryl Henderson or Bateman at flex and PPR. After what I saw last week, I'm going Henderson.
Yeah, I love both these guys. These were two of my favorite people coming in.
I have Bateman on my roster.
Yeah, you stole him from me. I would also go Henderson. I think he is the RB1 on what we still think is one of the best offenses in the league, despite the week one letdown that they had. But his usage was up there with, guys drafted in the first round of fantasy drafts. And if that continues, he's going to be a top 15 running back every week.
Yeah, for sure. Henderson, I do like them both, though.
Yeah.
So, depending on who your receivers are, I might try to find a way to put Bateman in my receiver spot, maybe wide receiver 2 or something like that. Dave, what's up, buddy? Harris, Singletary, Robinson, Pierce. Are you asking us to pick, Dave? You don't want to make your own decisions?
Who's our Harris? What's the Harris?
I don't know. Smoke, we appreciate the love, brother. Oh, he's helping us answer questions. Sorry. Henderson absolutely with an ailing Stafford. All right, Sebastian. Start 1, full PPR. Bateman, Etienne, James Robinson, Jacoby Myers. Bateman.
Yep, Bateman.
Bateman, 100%. Dave said he's talking about Davian Harris. Okay. Adam, appreciate the comment, man. Landry or Sutton?
Sutton.
No, I would say Sutton as well.
Yeah.
I don't want to say Sutton has the best quarterback, but because he doesn't. I think they're close. Based off.
You think Russ and Winston are that close?
I think they could have similar stats. They're not. Russ is a better quarterback. But in terms of fantasy stats,
yeah. I think
Winston can have really good weeks.
Yeah, Jarvis Landry is a great wide receiver. He's done it for a long time. I think we're going to see his usage decrease slightly throughout the season as Michael Thomas gets more and more comfortable, continues to come back from this injury, that he's had for 2 years, as well as Chris Olave coming along as a rookie. So I think Landry is, he had a good week 1, and he's going to continue to be utilized, but I think it's going to slowly decrease as those two guys come along. They're the 1 and 2. Landry is the 3 in that offense.
I drafted Olave with that hope. I haven't started him yet, and I probably won't for a while, but I drafted him for that reason. Adam, we appreciate the love, dude. Thanks for tuning in and commenting. Join us. Hope you subscribe to the channel. Join us tomorrow night when we actually, talk about these picks, and hopefully we helped you out. If not, you can just shit on us all day, and when you come back, we deserve it. Axel Smith says Kareem Hunt, David Montgomery, or Drake London at flex. My gut says, my gut says Kareem Hunt. You know what he's going to get. I have David Montgomery starting because I don't have either of those other 2 players, and I'm struggling right now, honestly, with my running back room. But although I have, the best running back in the game right now in Jonathan Taylor, Kareem Hunt is my gut pick. If you're looking for somebody that is a boom pick, I would say Drake London.
Yeah, I'm checking my rankings right now. I would probably go Hunt as well. I don't like the matchup Montgomery has this week with Green Bay after that week 1 performance. I think Green Bay, they're kind of right there with the Rams. They're going to have a big week too. It's going to be tough for Montgomery to have a good game. Yeah, I'd probably go Kareem Hunt over London.
Yeah, that's my gut pick right away. When I'm faced with these decisions, and this might help you guys, I'm picking the player who I know is going to be the focal point of an offense. And Hunt, although he shares time with Chubb, they're a 2-headed monster. They both get equal time. Yeah. Montgomery is on his down slope in terms of being a top tier, I would say he's probably tier 3, tier 4 running backs right now. Kareem Hunt is in a higher tier. Drake London, rookie wide receiver, unproven. This early in the fantasy season, you know exactly what Kareem Hunt's going to give you, barring any crazy injury circumstance. Kareem Hunt is a safe pick, and right now in fantasy, I think safe picks are the way to go. This will probably be our last question of the day for this morning. That you guys can gear up, go fix your food. I gotta run to the grocery store today. Well, we got another one. We'll keep rolling as long as you guys keep asking. My wife's gonna hate me, but it's okay. Again, if you guys could subscribe to the channel, that'd be great. Pick 2 wide receivers: Jerry Jeudy, Bateman, DJ Moore. I like DJ Moore.
Bateman.
I was going to say Bateman with Jerry Jeudy. You got really good wide receivers there. Let Jeudy play for another couple weeks with Russ, and then I think Jeudy probably overtakes Bateman. But right now, DJ Moore for sure. Rashad Bateman number 2. And then we have Carr or Ryan from Silas Ratliff.
Carr this week for sure. Ryan doesn't have Pittman. That's huge for him.
He's going to struggle. All right, guys. If somebody can send a comment in the next 30 seconds, we'll answer it. But if not, we're going to sign off. Smoke, we appreciate it, man. Thanks again. Have you all a good day. We wish everybody the best of luck this week in their fantasy football leagues, unless you're playing somebody. He said, go Vikings, baby. I do like the Vikings a lot. I'm a Bengals fan, obviously. That's my dude, Trey Hendrickson.
You can have an NFC team. It's okay.
It's all right. I like the Vikings. I like the Vikings, I think, because Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase are pretty close together. They're good friends, and they're LSU guys, and I can see the similarities between the two. But I appreciate the love, Silas. Make sure you guys subscribe to the YouTube channel while you're here. It takes 2 seconds. Share us with your buddies. Share us with your coworkers. We're going to try to do this early morning Sunday stream. We've went way longer than we were supposed to, but you guys kept asking questions, so we're going to keep answering them. All right. So with that, we're closing in on an hour. We appreciate you guys tuning in. Coop, you got any parting words?
No, just we'll see you guys tomorrow. Come back.
All right. Tomorrow, 9:30 at night. It'll be during the Monday night game. Put the Monday night game up on your TV. Have us on your phone. We're going to be talking about. We're going to review the whole week, what happened, where our picks went, how our personal fantasy teams did. Sort of talk about some ins and outs, some duds and studs. Start them, sit them for next week. So all that good stuff. We appreciate all the support and love today. We've got a ton of comments, especially from the YouTube area. Most of the time, our comments are coming from Facebook. It's because we're pretty local. We're trying to grow on YouTube, so make sure you subscribe. I can say that 1,000 times, but it does help us out. It looks like we're getting pushed out to a lot of new people. So if you like what you hear, keep coming back. We love it. We take pride in answering your questions and interacting with our audience, and hopefully that leaves a mark on you guys. We hope to kind of always do that, and we appreciate the love again. You guys have a good luck this week in your fantasy team. Go Bengals. Coop, you don't even have a NFL team that you like, do you?
I prefer to root for the individual players on my fantasy team. That's where my allegiances lie from year to year.
So I don't. I'm full on Bengals guy. It's been hard the last couple of years, but last year he gave us hope. So hopefully Joe Burrow doesn't suck today. And I think everybody in the entire country is rooting for the Bengals today against Dallas. So we appreciate all of the support. Send all the good juju our way, and that Joe Burrow doesn't throw 4 or 5 picks today. And so you guys have a great day. We love you. Appreciate you tuning in.